The thing is, worship and answered prayers don't really go hand in hand. Worship is about who God is, not what He is doing for us. From what I've observed in today's age, and maybe since the beginning of time, worship seems to be this give and take relationship with God. You give me what I want, God, and then I'm going to be full on worshiping you. That's a very warped idea of what worship is and of who God is supposed to be to us. Our prayers do not always need to be answered. What about Jesus' prayer at Gethsemane? Jesus said, "If it is your will, God, take away this cup of suffering from me." But here's the key. He said, "If it is your will, God." Technically, God could have saved him, but Jesus was close enough to God to want what God wanted, even though he was not looking forward to it. When King David asked God if he could build a temple for him to live in, God said, "No, your son will do it." And David didn't get all upset and hurt and be like, "My son, I'm his father." He praised God and he worshiped God. When we understand that worshiping God is all about the beauty of His holiness, we get free of our emotions, of our circumstances, our poverty, our richness. It just loses anything to do with who we are. Now, I get it. The last thing you want to do at this point is say, "God, you're amazing," because you feel, "God, you're not fair." So, if I had some practical steps to give you which would help you to worship God even when you're not feeling it, this is what I'm going to tell you. You need to worship God, not His miracles. Don't look back on a time when God answered your prayers and feel like now you're doing something wrong because at that time He answered, now what's happening? No, it may not be that you're doing anything wrong. It might just be not in the will of God. Maybe it's not the right time, maybe it's not what God wants for you. It could be so many things that He knows best. Never worship the miracles of God. Never place so much importance on those powerful moments that becomes bigger than God Himself. How do you look to God? He is invisible. Well, I like to form something that I call a spirit picture of God. Now, God says, "Don't worship an image of me," and I agree. But what a spirit picture is, thinking of everything I know of the nature of God, which might have a lot of holes in my understanding, which will. But I think of how holy He is. I think of how the stars above me show that God is a God of design and magnificence, and I think, wow, He's so awesome. I think of all these attributes of God and it forms a spiritual picture of who He is in His spirit, and automatically I worship Him. The things that can help you form a spirit picture of Him can be a verse, a song like Reckless Love. You just think of that, what it means. It helps you admire who God is and the love that He's shown you through His Son Jesus Christ. It automatically makes you want to be like, yes, God, you're awesome. So once you have this spirit picture, you can easily move on into the next thing, which is worship itself. What I was saying, but a little more than that. Now you're allowing your reverence of God, the awe you have for God, to fully transform you from the inside out. So you don't just stop at being like, okay, wow, God made this, and move on to the next part of your life. Allow it to soak into you and wash everything that is toxin, wash it out. This is so important because once you allow to transform you, the hurt that you had earlier, the frustration that you had earlier, not only is it put aside until you finish worshipping, but it gets eradicated. You won't see it anymore. You become a different person because when you're worshipping God, you are 100% living out your identity, being a worshiper of God. Yes, that's each one of our identity. It says if we don't worship God, if we don't praise His name, the rocks and the stones will. All that God made was made to worship Him at its core. If you think now to yourself, I don't really know how to do what you're talking about. I don't really know how to worship. Think again. You worship people every day. It could be your boss, your best friend, someone you love. It could be a celebrity. If not people, you worship worry every day. At every day, some point, you are worrying about stuff. When you value something over anything else, that's worship. So we just gotta change direction and do it towards God, who is worthy of our worship. Let it not have anything to do with how He has answered our prayers and how He has met our expectations. He made us, so He can never be in what we expect. So sometimes we are going to be disappointed, but we have no idea how He's going to maybe surprise us in the future with something much better than we could have imagined if we just trust Him and keep worshiping Him. So take your time, allow the worship to flood through you, filter out every unnecessary thought, let it break every chain in your body, soul, and mind, and let it flow through everyone around you. Don't be scared to sing out at that moment or to dance or whatever it is that you feel in your spirit, because this is important and it needs expression. If you feel to just be silent, then just be silent as well. But don't be scared to allow this moment of worship to really break through a lot of barriers in who you are and give everything that you are to God in this worship. I hope this made sense to you. This was a great question asked to me by Siddharth. Thank you for that. I hope this video reminded you that God does not revolve around us. We actually are supposed to worship Him no matter what our view of everything is. So alright, I'll see you next week with a song, hopefully. And if you liked this video, share it with someone who has an unanswered prayer and is unable to go to God because of it. Until next week, and always strive to be like Jesus.